Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion, please abiding by Afterbirth Plus. I gotta tell you, when I said earlier that we would never lose a run in the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus again, I misspoke. What I meant to say is we would lose many runs. Q388YKV1, Technology 1, which makes our low damage a little suspect, but you know, we got everything going on here. We look like some kind of cyberpunk Kimbo Slice or something like that. I can get down with that. I am intending, maybe I need like a new mantra. I need something new to repeat in the mirror every morning instead of, we're never going to lose a run of the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus again. I need to say, like, we're going to do our best to perform up to the standards and expectations that I've set for myself. But if other stimuli or conditions or parameters get in the way, all we can do is try to adjust our play accordingly in order to dampen their effects. Amen. It's a more realistic expectation. But screw that. I'm telling you, straight up, never losing a run again. In Earth's history, you have witnessed the final losses in the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. Why did you take Curse of the Tower? Because I'm not afraid. When you see a bear in the forest, you don't crap yourself until after you leave the encounter. What you do instead, even though you're not particularly happy to be doing it, you stand up as tall as you can, you raise your arms over your head, and you go, "Rawr." Even though if the bear had a brain larger than the size of a pecan, it would go, "I'm gonna eat this guy, and I won't be hungry for like 10 days. Instead, you stare death in the face, and you say, "I am afraid, but that's not gonna stop me," okay? That's why I took Curse of the Tower. Also, if we never get hit, we never have to worry about Curse of the Tower. Most people don't think about that, but I'm on a new level. Excuse me, sir. I have walked into you, and I would like a refund on that HP that I lost. My day is like it's atypical right now, like a Netflix original series. First off, you will never hit me, sir. That definitely would have hit me. We still got the, you know, the Letourneau household family illness still ongoing. Current spun the wheel of infection, and it's landed on infectious mononucleosis. I don't know, man, but I called our general practitioner, also colloquially known as a family doctor, last night and was like, "Hey, we've been to a couple walk-in clinics. They've given us decent care, but maybe because it's gone on for so long and you've got our patient history and stuff like that, you could figure it out. So maybe we'll come in, you know, tomorrow or the day after, if that's possible." So I, you know, went to bed, woke up 7:30 a.m., got a phone call. I was like, man, this doctor's on the ball. I never answer my phone. This is how you know I love my wife. I never answer my phone. I woke up 7:30 a.m., a little bit ahead of schedule by my standards, as you're probably well aware. Oh, that was close. Picked it up, greeted by a robot voice speaking Mandarin Chinese, I believe telling me that I had business to take care of at the Chinese embassy or they're going to arrest and deport me. And to which I replied, "I'd like to see you try." I didn't say anything, I just hung up the phone and went back to sleep. Then, so that was like 7. 45 minutes later, I wake up to something every pet owner has woken up to at least a dozen times in their life. It's not the old man laughing from that Skype laugh chain video. It's your pet throwing up. So I got up and I cleaned that up. I would like to drop mom's toenail, please. Yes, leave. A little spotty on this run so far. Not a big fan of not getting the damage upgrades. So I'm all out of sorts. Also, I didn't make cold coffee last night, so I woke up and I was like, it's early, but I'll have some coffee, and then nope, I had to make hot coffee, and the whole scheme of things, not that big a deal, but it is a break in routine is what I'm getting at. Caffeine's taking a little bit longer to hit the bloodstream. But you know what? Usain Bolt, these are all true stories. You're going to think this is my posturing yet again. Not true. Usain Bolt, 2008 Beijing Olympics, very commonly known. What did he eat for his pre-race meal? McDonald's chicken nuggets. Daryl Sittler, famous NHL player for the Toronto Maple Leafs in the 1970s and 80s, had a 10-point game. Most points ever scored in an NHL game in history. What did he eat before the game? Used to eat steak and pasta. Running a little bit late, couldn't get steak and pasta. What does he get instead? Stops by Swiss Chalet, aka Boston Market, aka Nando's. Picks up a rotisserie chicken, French fries, eats it, scores 10 goals. Not 10 goals, that would be absurd. 10 points. Still, amazing. Bookworm is a huge help here. Maybe being off of our game is exactly what we need in order to bring us back. Now, I will use Book of Shadows more productively than Book of Belial. That's the right play. What was our other book in here? The Bible. We could use it to get like a coin, but I'm not super concerned about that, to be honest. I'm feeling all right now to move on. HP is in a real bad spot. Damage is not much better, but that's okay. Sometimes being off your routine is, it's good. It's the Pringles can metaphor. I genuinely do not believe much, at least, in the power of positive thinking. But I will say, in high school, this is a metaphor. I'm going to tie it back into being off of your routine, okay? It's a metaphor. Well, it is a real story, actually. So in 11th grade, I was a big nerd. I wasn't the biggest nerd in my school, but I wasn't like the alpha nerd. But I was like one of the people that would be like, hey, Brent, come help me do my homework. Oh, you're busy? Alright, I guess I'll hit Ryan up on ICQ. Fair enough. You know, I knew my place. Anyway, two of spades. I'm just gonna pop it, move on. So in, I think it was 11th grade. In 11th grade, they were like, hey, we got this program at a local university where for a week, you'll miss all of your classes, but instead, you get to go to the university and basically, you know, take like a week of, like a miniature seminar of what it would be like to be in college. So you get to like, do you want to be a creative writer? Do you want to be a scientist? Do you want to be a historian? Blah, 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 and all these programs. So I went, and I did one in evolutionary biology. It was really cool. It's also very weird because most of the other people that were there were not from my hometown. You wouldn't. You know what? I wouldn't say I deserved that, but I did see it coming. Please let me out. Spirit Heart. Dude, we're not losing this one. I know you're looking at it. You're like, he's lost already. Nah. Should have Yared earlier, obviously. Everybody knows that. Look at that. Okay, we're out and we're safe. So everybody else was like, we're going back to the dorms and we're going to eat pizza. And I was like, I'm going to get in a taxi and go home and do the homework that I missed. I would really recommend being away from home to do this program. But anyway, really good professor for this, who was probably just hating his life. He's like, so instead of a week off, I have to make like a whole new course material and teach it to people that are too young to necessarily be qualified to understand it all. All of this is irrelevant set dressing for what I'm about to say. He told us a story about a study that he had run, or that he was aware of at the very least, that like tested people's academic performance as a byproduct of the amount of sleep that they got the night before. So you always hear like, oh, I'm nervous for this exam. I can't do this today. I only got like 2 hours of sleep. I only got 1 hour of sleep. I only got 3 hours of sleep. I only got 9 hours of sleep last night. And he said the findings for the study showed as long as you were alert, like biologically and psychologically aware of your surroundings and able to respond to them, your performance, you know, I hope you're not expecting me to say it got better, but your performance actually was unaffected by 1 or 2 nights consecutive bad sleep. And it's always, I feel like just having that conversation with that professor back then gave me a lot of psychological power, you know, in my life. Because I was always, before that, I was like, oh, I didn't get a good sleep last night. You go into things with a bad attitude. You're like, I don't understand it. Sorry, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Now, you get 1 night of bad sleep, 2 nights of bad sleep. Sorry, I can't speak English very well. Didn't get a great sleep last night. 2 nights of bad sleep, you know, you go, well, it sucks. I would have rather been comfortable and gotten better sleep, but I didn't. And that's probably going to be okay in the whole scheme of things. Now, cumulative bad sleep. That's where you run into real psychological problems. Just look at Mathis. Why do I make fun of Mathis? Because he understands banter. And he either doesn't take offense to it, or he doesn't say anything. Which, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I'm joking. We have a mutual level of professional respect which allows us to poke fun. Have you not seen the Steve Coogan, Rob Dryden film The Trip? To let someone make fun of you and to make fun of them in kind with truly scathing insults is the greatest show of platonic intimacy that you could ever muster. Full stop. Now, I'm not saying you should get up after an hour of sleep intentionally. I'm just saying it's not a great excuse. Based on this one anecdotal study that guy, you know, could have made up. I would like to think that he didn't, but I got another anecdote about that, and I'm not sure if I... Because I can't believe I've never talked about this before, but I mean, there's only 2 anecdotes that come out as a result of this, okay? The other one is, you know, after doing the 5 days of instruction, we were all saying our goodbyes to each other, all the classmates, and the professor walked out of the building and was like, or we were like, you gotta get in our picture. This is before cell phones or smartphones existed, at least, so I'm pretty sure that it was taken on like one of those disposable Kodak cameras, which means it is now lost to the ether. And we were like, you gotta get in the picture. And he's like, okay guys, but I can only take one. I just got a phone call that said that my friend died. And we're like, oh dude, we're sorry. We took the photo anyway, but like, it was a great, because it wasn't great that his friend died. I want to make that part clear. But it was like, we were high school students, somewhat insulated from, you know, the difficulties of the quote-unquote real world. We went to college and we're like, being older is gonna be really cool. Look at this. We're learning all sorts of interesting stuff. And then this guy was like, he was our shepherd in that young adult experience. And then, right after the doors closed, he's like, yeah, I can't put on a smile anymore because I got a phone call that my best friend died. And we're like, oh, that's adult life. Adult life is largely having a lot of freedom, but once every 2 years getting a terrible telephone call. I understand now. It was a real learning lesson. Hey, by the way, I really, really expected today's run to just be good, which might be, I mean, I've always thought that that was my fatal flaw, is that I just have too much faith. You know, too good of a person, too giving, leaves me in situations like this, where I'm a little bit scared about what awaits us for the future. I was actually gonna pop the tower, and then I was like, are you dumb? Are you a dumb idiot? Don't do that. We need this deal here if possible. So don't even, like, nothing else here is necessary. Definitely do not go to the cursed room. So there's a new and fresh anecdote for you. I'm pretty sure it also broke my school's budget a little bit because in order to send me to this, they had to subsidize it a little bit. I don't know, just for the art of the deal, I suppose. Wasn't like there was necessarily a financial need, but they gave me taxi vouchers. So every day, I would get in a cab, and I'd hand the cab driver a coupon that says, 1 trip, please. Take me to the other side of the city. And it was, you know what? This is what we're gonna do here. It was my first taste of adult freedom. The other thing was, if you were from out of town, you got like vouchers to go eat lunch at the university cafeteria. Having now spent 4 years at that university and only 1 year at the cafeteria, I'm here to tell you, they're the ones who got screwed. I just didn't know it at the time. Since I was a local student, I wasn't forced into that program. As a result, what did I do at lunch? I walked around. Anybody else slowly being killed by an infectious disease? Anybody else ever had that lunchtime routine? The walk around? Hey, it's my lunch break for 45 minutes. I'm gonna walk in a circle, sort of. Go down this block. Oh, there's the coffee shop. Done it many a time. When I worked at, well, every office I've ever worked at, this might surprise you. I'm not really like a misfit toy, you know? Like, I relatively get along with people. I try not to hit him with the acerbacy of the you know, kind of timbre of the jokes that I do in these videos and stuff like that. When I meet people, I tend to be nice and deferential, and, you know, I build people up, and I make jokes at my own expense, not to undermine myself, but to make them feel more comfortable with me as a person. You know, I just, I'm not some kind of social maestro, but I do tend to get along with people to some extent. Outside of the YouTube industry. Inside of the YouTube industry, I'm obviously hated. 1 second, I'm gonna caffeinate. Mostly because I got a bunch of phlegm at the back of my throat. Not sure if you can hear that. Oh, we can hear it, they say. But at every job I've ever worked... Sure, that's fine. I'm not mad. At every job I've ever worked, unless they were doing something for lunch, like if they're like, there's a lunch potluck. Everybody meet in the break room at 11:51. I'm there. I'll be eating the gazpacho. I'll be eating the potato salad. At one of the jobs that I worked at, if you ever wanted to know like how, and I don't want to insult my hometown because there's a lot to like about it, and I mean that sincerely, but if you ever want to know how, let's say, culinarily safe it is, that gazpacho thing is real. One time, one of our younger associates made a cold soup and brought it to the potluck. Nobody but me and the other summer student ate it because we were starving, but also we were like, nobody's eating this homemade gazpacho. Everybody's eating like the macaroni salad they bought at the grocery store. We were telling her, we were like, this is gazpacho is great, and she sent me home with it. Because everybody else was like, cold soup? What is this, Europe? I don't think so. That's a little too rich for my blood, so... But anyway, these are all... We're getting a little bit out of hand. If you've never had a gazpacho, it's just a cold liquid. You know, it's good. You ever consume a drink in your life? Try some gazpacho. You may not have the opportunity that often. I know I don't. But if you do, give it a try, okay? I've never had a vichyssoise. That was always the go-to cold soup in cartoons when I was growing up. Cue of meat, perchance to dream. But anyway, what I was gonna say is I'm all there for the social event at work, but if there was no social event at lunchtime, I was freaking gone. I would just, even with a packed lunch, I would just walk like 20 minutes away from work and eat it in a park and then come back, just because I don't want to, you know, eat it at my desk and have people, I don't know, sounds bad, but like have people like talk to you. Like, that's my time. I can do what I want with my time. Sister Maggie's kind of tempting, but I think we need to go a little deeper. We don't really want clicker. Shears is interesting. I think we start by doing something like this, and then we can decide. I think I'd still rather have invincibility for now. We don't need more HP, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. This is actually a pretty good pickup, considering we still have 2.51 damage. Oh, but no, it's not, because we already have piercing shots, you idiot. I do see that tinted rock. Even, like, I've said this before, but I worked at Goodwill. The Goodwill was in, like, a very suburban part of town, and I only got half an hour for lunch, or maybe 40 minutes, I can't remember. It's probably 45 minutes, because I think it was like one of those, you know, you give you 10-hour shifts and you have an hour in breaks, like a 15-minute break to defecate. and then a 45-minute break to slam 1,100 calories into your gullet as quickly as possible because you've been unloading broken furniture all day. But anyway, there was nothing around. Even still, I would bring a book to work, and then on my 45-minute lunch break, I would just walk like 10 minutes into nature. And then there was a little gazebo. I'd sit down to the gazebo, I'd read my book for 10 minutes, eat a sandwich, walk back. Which in hindsight is not really the kind of behavior that makes you everybody's favorite person at the workplace. But that's okay, because I quit after 3 weeks. Now, this run is taking its toll on me, etc., etc. It's not good. In fact, it's very, very... I'm going to avoid saying the B word. It's very underpowered for what I would like it to be right now. We have a ton of HP, but all you need to know, right now at least, is that, you know, with 2.51 damage heading down to the depths too, not really loving life right now. Loving the Eternal Hearts. A Bone Heart is actually insanely great, because we can use that almost as if it's a Spirit Heart, and we can probably do orbital damage on this floor without crapping ourselves. Oh, no, it's all gone wrong. Wait, we're still alive. Just be cool. Okay, we're back. Lusty Blood, actually pretty huge. Please. 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 3 pleases, 2 Spirit Hearts. That's an exchange rate. That's like straight out of Catan. I can get down with that. So now, Lusty Blood is not a huge get because it's like our car has acceleration but no top speed. It's like we're Yoshi in Mario Kart. I had a thought the other day. What do you guys think? And this is a little bit from a position of ignorance because I don't spend all day on Nintendo of America's Twitter account seeing whatever they tweet, but I've noticed, so I've been talking about Mario Tennis Aces a little bit. They seem to be approaching Mario Tennis Aces as if they're trying to cultivate a competitive scene for it. Super Smash Bros. In its various forms obviously has a competitive scene associated with it. I don't know if Mario Kart does. Anybody else in the same boat as me? Which is, again, this position is very much painted with ignorance, but I mean, I guess here's the thing. When I was a kid, I would have loved for there to have been Mario Tennis tournaments around me, or online. Mario Kart tournaments, any video game tournament would have blown my mind, you know? But I do kind of feel like it's Nintendo's kind of forcing the archetype. Smash, dude, my nose, I'm so sorry. Smash, I'll give you. Smash, fighting game, always been competitive. You might be saying I'm a poser. To some extent, you're right, but I have played literally maybe 500 or 600 hours of Smash 64. Probably 200 or 300 hours of Brawl. What can I say? I was born in 1988. If I was born in 1992, I probably would have played 500 hours of Melee and 200 hours of Smash for Wii U. It's just I'm a victim of the time when I was born, when I was in my first year dormitories, going through a nostalgic phase with my friends, and etc., etc. It's hard to say no to this. I think we want the respawn as well. A theme is important because of Curse of the Tower. We could at least get a refund on some of the damage we take. Mario Tennis, though, I'm kind of not in the... I'm not down for the competitive scene. I mean, if it exists, that's fine. Splatoon, I'm just ignorant to, I'll give you. The one that gets me, though, is Mario Kart. Because I'm like, Mario Kart is built, in, from my philosophy, from the ground up to be competitive, but also kind of, I mean, it punishes the people that are the best at the racing portion. I'm not going to say the best of the game, because everything's part of the game, you know, power-up management, track awareness, and et ceteras, et ceteras. We need it. Sack Dagger is gonna do a lot for us. By the way, I'm 85 years old now. Again, I feel the obligation to tell you that I feel fine, but these bronchitis symptoms, or mono, or tuberculosis, or the black lung, or the bubonic plague just lasts forever. I almost am to the point. Well, I said it to Kate last night because we were prognosticating or trying to, like, reverse engineer where the heck did we get poisoned. And I was thinking back, it had to happen at least 4 to 6 weeks ago, because those were the last weeks where we felt like ourselves. That's crazy, dude. I mean, it's not crazy. Like, I'm sure some of you out there are like, must be nice. And you're right. But for like an infectious disease to compromise you for a month is a long time, man. I've never experienced this before in my life. It's sobering. And again, it's a reminder that we're meat. From top to bottom, I thought I was, I had delusions of grandeur. I thought I was like some kind of, you know, a higher level organism. Not true. Just meat. You know what's speaking to you right now? Cord meat. Thinking? Think meat. It's just all meat as far as the eye can see. Ooh, be careful there. I'm sure many people out there can relate. I was reading statistics on mono last night. No. Okay. I was reading statistics on mono last night, and they said by the time they reach adult age, 55% of people have had a mono infection. Or maybe it was 20%. I might be confusing with bronchitis, but I don't know, though. That seems like roughly... I don't want to say correct, because, I mean, I can't even think if I've ever known anybody in real life who's gotten mono. I know Krendor had mono, and, you know, hockey players get mono. The Chariot. Stick with Perth Row for now. Is this, please be, it's not an XL floor. We should be okay. No, we're gonna take a hit. That's fine. I really, really wanted to keep our deal with the Devil Chance high, but hopefully we'll just... I'm so sorry. Hopefully we'll be able to make it work for the next floor. This is not all an elaborate ruse to get Dark Judas out there, I promise you. People actually would probably prefer that, to be honest with you. We got it anyway. And we've already been. That's right. Absolutely. There's no contest. 100% have to take it. And then you give me an HP upgrade. You're a god. You're a hero. Thank you so much. Like, I almost don't remember what feeling normal feels like. And I know it's not like this is a disease that is liable to kill me or leave permanent health scars, you know? FDR had polio, affected him for his entire life, went on to be, you know, one of the most highly respected presidents of the United States in history. How's that for an uncontroversial political opinion? That's like, there's a 100% agreement. There's like 3 presidents that no matter what, you know, if you say a positive thing about them, nobody with an egg avatar, my voice, nobody with an egg avatar is gonna call you bad words on Twitter. FDR, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington. Everybody, every other American president is subject to you getting a lecture on Twitter. Thomas Jefferson, absolutely. Andrew Jackson, dude, you don't even know. I know you're thinking, what about John F. Kennedy. Relatively well respected in presidential rankings, but still a few noteworthy gaffes that are still in living memory. Bay of Pigs, you know, the scandals I don't really care about, but, you know, Bay of Pigs in particular. Further involvement in Vietnam, which is still controversial. But if anybody says any bad words about Abraham Lincoln, you're like, you know the guy ended slavery, right? That buys you a lot of brownie points. Buys you a lot of good boy points. You know, like when I take out the trash without having been asked to take out the trash, that buys me some good boy points. If I ended slavery, I can't even imagine how many chicken tenders I could get. Stop. This is mine. Plus, can you imagine how many brownie points you would get for being shot in the head? Dude, I would carry that with me into the afterlife. Absolutely. There's me as Abraham Lincoln and old Mary Todd. Mary Todd's like, what do you want to get for dinner tonight? And I'm like, hardtack. See, the joke is that hardtack is the Civil War era flatbread. Anyway, hardtack. Mary Todd says, I don't want to get hardtack. I want to eat one of these new things that people have been talking about for 200 years, Abe, like fondue, Jello salads. And I say, well, I'm sorry, old Mary Todd. I guess my opinion means nothing, even though I was shot in the head and killed at that play you wanted to go to. That's the kind of thing where you can't go like, are you gonna hold on to that grudge forever? I might. I mean, it's not really like I want to hold on to the grudge. I just want it to unfairly influence the power dynamic in the relationship forever, so that I can eat as much hardtack as I want. What do you want to eat for dinner tonight, Abe? Potatoes crusted in cornmeal, my favorite meal from when I was a child. I want to eat sushi, Abraham. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't have time to sample all these nouveau riche cuisines when I was busy ending slavery. Mary Todd's like, he did one good thing in his life. And I'm not saying it wasn't good, but he's never gonna let me live it down. He might be the only president with that level of pull in the afterlife. He's got, like, I wouldn't say a spotless record, because inevitably that's going to lead to me getting a lecture as well. But, you know, he's got a pretty good legacy. I mean, when Daniel Day-Lewis plays you in a film directed by Steven Spielberg, probably doing all right for yourself in heaven. That's all I'm saying. Like, things are really awkward for JFK in heaven. Because, you know, it's him and Jackie Kennedy. And then he's like, I want fondue. And she's like, that's not because he got shot in the head. That's just my attempt at his accent, okay? I didn't mean to be offensive. My fellow Havanicans, I want fondue. And she's like, well, why don't you go get it with Marilyn, John? And he's like, I was shot in the head. She's like, I know. I watched it happen. What do you think's worse? Anyway, this might be like a little too close to home because that's still in living memory. But anyway. Yeah, why not? I mean, if we come back to life, we're coming back as Dark Judas. This was a long run. And I would never suggest, by the way, that we have earned today's run. At all. Because I think we basically just got invincibility, and without this invincibility, we would be screwed. And then on top of that, if we hadn't got Brimstone, we might also have been screwed. And on top of all of this, we may still be screwed. I'm not totally sure. I'm just saying, if I could be anybody in heaven, I'd be Abraham Lincoln. Because you got a lot of clout. There's probably other people that have another stab at being in the, you know, the top 10, but he's got to be up there. You know what the other sick part about being Abraham Lincoln would be? And don't take this as malicious, okay? But when your nickname is Honest Abe, and you have a reputation for being, you know, someone who never tells a lie, although that's also George Washington, strangely enough, think about what you could get away with. And I'm not saying he was, you know, messing around. I'm just saying, like, if you were Abraham Lincoln and you ate all the leftover cornmeal or the pea soup that Mary Todd had made when she wasn't at home, and then she was like, Abe, did you eat the pea soup? She's gonna believe you. You could be like, a dog came and ate it. You could get away with it. She, you know, honestly, he would be that villainous. Stephen A. Douglas is at it again. Eating my wife Mary Todd's delicious pea soup right out from under my comically oversized hat. But the catch-22 is obvious. You don't get to be known as Honest Abe by eating pea soup when you're not supposed to. And you know, that's why he's Honest Abe, and I'm just an egg. I feel like every single floor here is the longest floor I've ever seen. Like, you gotta admit, this might not be the longest floor ever seen, but it's longer than usual. I only took this because I want a second stab at invincibility. Which is literally what the item does, so you're probably like, duh. But nah. I really don't care as long as we don't screw ourselves and become Dark Judas before the boss fight. As long as... That was scary. As long as we become Dark Judas on the boss fight or never, I'm a happy man. Not picking those up because we had some permanent Polaroidal. We should pop this. This is probably harder than the boss fight. I'm gonna go back for the battery. In my head, I was like, I'm not gonna go back for the battery. And then I said, do you want to lose like every run ever? Why wouldn't you take a guarantee? This is like a chaos card. It's just a very slow acting chaos card. You're gonna be like, nah, it's not for me. Doesn't make any sense. Just pop it. Finish the run. There's nothing cheesy about it. You earned this one, dude. Alright, so we're back in the saddle again with a run that, if I'm being straight up with you, was just horrendous for about the first 25 minutes, but came together at the end. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. It was a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I will see you next time.